Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, Out of Voice Radio. So today, I am delighted to bring you another alternate art Pokemon card. Now, here's the important thing. Not all alternate art cards were made equal. We've seen some of them be better, we've seen some of them be worse. This, outside of Dialga, which I'm convinced we're getting, this is the card I want the most. It's fighting type Garchomp, and I am utterly delighted that we are getting it. So, it is a fighting Pokemon, which means it's no longer a dragon Pokemon. Being a dragon Pokemon sucked. You're not hitting anything for weakness. The only trick you get is Devoured Field that allows you to do an extra 10 damage for your attacks, but we've got better options as fighting Pokemon. And the fairy weakness is an odd one, because as it stands at the moment, Gardevoir's really big, so fighting weakness sucks. But we think in the not too distant future Metal Dex will be good, which means Gardevoir will go away. Wait and see, I suppose. But being a fighting Pokemon is awesome. You get access to strong energy, which allows your attacks to do an extra 20 damage. You get access to Regirock, which is really good because it sits on the bench, allows you to do an extra 10 damage. And then, of course, you can play multiple Regirock. You get Buzzwole as a partner, which is quite important because it's nice to have a basic single energy good attacker as a partner for your main Pokemon, which in this case happens to be Garchomp. And you kind of get Brooklet Hill. And I say kind of because Brooklet Hill will grab that Buzzwole, and Brooklet Hill will grab that Regirock, but we've only actually currently got the Breakpoint Gible, which is a fighting type that you can actually use with this. That's the only fighting type Gible we've actually got at the moment. Now, we are getting a pair of Gible in Sun and Moon 5 when we're getting the Dragon Garchomp. They are both dragon type, and they are arguably both better than the fighting type Breakpoint Gible. We have one that's got 60 HP, which has a really nice ability that says if there's any fighting energy attached to it, it's got free retreat. Helps you get it out the active turn 1, if you don't want it in the active. And then we've got the 50 HP one, but it's got an attack that allows you to just evolve it into Gabite. And then, of course, it's a Gabite at the beginning of your next turn, allowing you to evolve it into a Garchomp, giving you easy evolution. So although Brooklet Hill will give you access to a Gible, it's probably not the best Gible. It does mean you hit weakness against Zoroark and Silvally, and you get a grass weakness, which kind of sucks because of Golisopod. But if Metal Decks get big, then there's a very good chance that Fire Decks like Volcanion get big, which means stuff like Golisopod will in theory go away. Although as with all of this kind of stuff, predicting the future format really is more of a wait and see kind of thing. And of course, we still get Lucario. Lucario is one of the things that makes Garchomp so gosh darn good. It has an ability that says that as long as you've got a Garchomp on the field, you can search your deck for any card and put it into your hand, once per turn. Now, this has to be Garchomp, not Garchomp EX, for instance, but either way, this is absolutely amazing. I love it. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a stage 1 that gives you absolutely ridiculous access to consistency. I am a huge Monumental fan of this, and I think Lucario is just a straight away you must play it kind of thing. Oh yeah, and just in case everything I said wasn't good enough already, do remember that this Garchomp has free retreat. But all of this extra stuff, Lucario, the free retreat, would not be good enough if it wasn't for the attacks. Now, the first attack is not particularly good. It does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for a double colourless energy. Now, I suppose you could get this to KO a Zoroark, but you need a Choice Band to go up to 80, then you need free Regirock on the bench to go up to 110. Possible, but really not particularly good. If this did 60 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon, then I'd absolutely love it, because at that point, you would then be able to get a KO on the bench of something like a Zorua, for instance, or something like a Rockruff, and that would be really cool. At that stage, I'd be quite a fan, but unfortunately, that's not what we have, ladies and gentlemen. Overall, it's an underwhelming attack. But the second attack is absolutely brilliant. Fighting in a double colourless, 100 damage, but if you've played Cynthia this turn, it does 200 damage. Now, Cynthia is a great new supporter card coming in Ultra Prism that just says shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 6 cards. When the rotation hits, this is going to be the best supporter card, the one that everybody plays. Pre-rotation, playing 4 of these is not a bad thing. Post-rotation, playing 4 of these is going to be an absolute necessity, so it really doesn't matter that you've got to be playing 4 of them to get the most out of Garchomp. And 200 damage is nuts, but what's really good is that with the Dragon type, you whack on a Choice Band and a Devoured Field, you hit 240. And that's all you can hit. That is the absolute maximum. So something like a Metagross or a New Soul Galeo with 250 HP, no, you don't get a one-hit KO. But with fighting, you whack a Strong Energy on there, you're doing 220. Then with a Choice Band, you're doing 250. And let's not forget, you can always use Regirock, so you could, in theory here, have a Strong Energy and free Regirock, and then you wouldn't even need a Choice Band. Now, I'm not saying having free Regirock on the bench is the sensiblest plan, but I am saying it is an option. And essentially, the reason I like this so much more as a fighting Pokemon is because, well, we'll get to the support in a minute, but you just get to hit the numbers. And hitting the numbers is everything you want to do here. You're no longer saying, I can't KO a 250 HP Pokemon. Okay, I suppose you can use Professor Kukui, but how likely is it that you're going to be able to use Professor Kukui every turn? No, ladies and gentlemen, this is just great. And then, of course, you get to the fighting support. Being a fighting Pokemon is huge. You can play it with Buzzwole, which gives you an early game attacker. If you go second, okay, you've got Ascension on the new Gibble, but that really is it. You don't have a great plan if you're playing a Stage 2 deck going second. Whereas now you're a fighting Pokemon, you go second, you play Buzzwole, and then you've got a great going second attack while you get your Buzzwole up and rolling. And I know that you can play Buzzwole with the other Dragon-type Garchomp, because they both use fighting energy, but you cannot attach Strong Energy to a Dragon Pokemon. So playing Strong Energy becomes incredibly risky. And then, of course, you get Brooklet Hill instead of Devoured Field. Everything lines up here beautifully. Fighting is so much better than Dragon. And that's before we mention that you're hitting weakness on the best Pokemon in the game at the moment. Although, because of Brooklet Hill, I really, really want a fighting-type Gibble to be released at some point between now and the rotation. Now, we're not going to go into it in great detail, but I have got to give a shout-out to the expanded format at the moment, because when you get into the expanded format, fighting gets even sillier. You get access to Focus Sash, a really good Pokemon tool whereby if you would be one-hit KO'd, i.e. you have full HP but would be KO'd, you go down to 10 HP remaining and the Focus Sash goes away, which is actually really good because then you can attach a different tool. So if you're getting KOs without Choice Bands, you can play Focus Sash here, you can be hitting 250 without a Choice Band while making sure you're not getting one-hit KO'd. That's a little bit dumb. Then, of course, you get access to Corinna, a really good supporter card that allows you to search for a fighting Pokemon and an item card. So, of course, most of the time here, you'll go for your rare candy and your fighting-type Garchomp and you'll be rolling. And you even get access to Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick here. It can only be the only card in your hand in order to play it, but then you get to take any fighting Pokemon, like a Stage 2 Garchomp, for instance, whack it straight onto your bench, and draw 5 cards in the process. I adored this Garchomp the last time I did it. I'll pop a link to that video in the description. But now that it's a fighting type and gets all the extra tricks, it's so much better. I haven't watched that Garchomp video since I made it, since I uploaded it, but if one of you maybe would be nice enough to go and check, I'm willing to bet in that video I said something along the lines of, it's good, but I really wish it could be a fighting type. Now it is, it's so much better. I'm giving it 5 Wassies because it's a great non-GX attacker, it's got ridiculous support, and now it's got the typing to match. Although it's still rubbish in Pokken Tournament, or I'm rubbish at it. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, do make sure you whack a comment down below. Tell me how excited you are for Garchomp. Tell me other ways you could use it. Go nuts. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. Do please check out my video game channel, Wassy Plays. There's video game videos there. I've relaunched it. It's really good. Please check it out. I will be your friend. And of course, if you want to support the channel, you can do so by going to patreon.com/PTCGRadio. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.